All right, is that good?
All right, we'll begin with opening statement from Coach.
I think obviously just really proud of our guys' effort. I think defensively we've kind of been there, a lot of nights, and we were again tonight. Holding them to 39%, which is a big goal of ours, is keeping teams under 40%. And I just think when you go from there, you just go to kind of the toughness that it takes, to get a game like that done against a good team in the league. Being shorthanded as we were, but we talked about it all week. We weren't going to make any excuses about it. We still have good players that were out there tonight, guys that stepped in and played well, that hadn't played a bunch. And that's kind of what we're built on. So we worked just like we work every week to come in here and put ourselves in the last 5 minutes with a chance to win. That's what we expected to do, and these guys did a great job of doing that.
You talked a little bit about it on post-game television, but a little bit more about what it took to start kind of clawing your way back into the game. Was there a specific turning point? Did you address that at halftime? Talk about that turnaround.
I think at halftime we talked about really a great effort, all around. I didn't think mentally we were as sharp as we needed to be to win a game like this. Shorthanded, you've got to be really sharp. You've got to value possessions. You've got to be great defensively. And so effort-wise, I thought we were in a good spot. I just thought mentally we weren't sharp enough to really. I didn't know if we could do this, and I didn't know what they were thinking at the time. But I thought the second half, I thought we did a great job of coming out and getting good offensive possessions, which I didn't think we had enough of in the first half at all. And that kind of got it. I think those offensive possessions led to some stops and really got our confidence level up there around the 15-minute mark. And I thought we played really well from there.
Anias, nice double-double, terrific game, practically dominated start to finish. Coach said he didn't know what you guys were thinking at halftime. What were you thinking?
We just knew we needed to pick our energy up. That's just what it was. We knew we was in the game. We was only down 5 points, so we knew we was right there. We just had to do the little things, like you said, mentally. We just had to lock in.
How does it feel to be back and playing and feeling good?
Good.
That makes and then you get the results to go with feeling good. It's got to be great.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And you look like you absolutely are the kind of guy that's willing to take the challenge of being the guy on a given night.
Yeah.
Right?
The coaches, the team, everybody on the staff, everybody just encouraged me to play hard, try to be the best player on the floor every night. And we tell that to everybody. So it's not like they want me to, you know what I'm saying? It's just everybody got to step up at some point. And that's what we preach.
Coach, kind of talk about the defensive side of your game. Obviously, you guys said that the biggest focus is trying to keep teams under 40%, but also tonight almost forcing almost 20 turnovers as a team. So how big is kind of that defensive side of the ball for you guys?
Well, it's the top of the list, I think, for kind of the DNA of our team, which is kind of a phrase we've been using a lot, the last few weeks, is just kind of locking in on what our makeup is, right? And it starts with us defensively. And so you talk about the turnovers, and like we kind of talk about some of these stats being DNA points, and so we get 22 points off turnovers tonight, which is huge for us. We get 22 second chance points, which is huge for us. Like not to get too off topic of your question, but like we talk about trying to dominate the paint. Well, we come out tonight and we get 36 points in the paint to their 34, which that's not necessarily dominating, but 36 in the paint against those guys, I think is pretty impressive. With the way that we're playing, 22 second chance points, and then we get 16 in the fast break, which we're trying to do more and more of. Not sure we can really play as fast as we wanted to tonight, but to still outscore them in the break, like we're doing those things that, like I said, is kind of what our DNA has to be, what this group needs to be about. But back to your point, it just starts defensively. I think to be able to hold a talented team like that to 39%, 13% from three, we haven't guarded the 3-point line great all year, so to see that number tonight is really good. But like I just think these guys understand that it starts with us defensively, and we're going to find our way offensively. Hopefully, a little bit sharper sooner rather than later. But when we get both sides going, we think we can do a lot of positive things.
And your turnover number was good.
Yeah, finally. I think that was,
Yeah.
it was, and it's got to continue to get better. But we were 20 the last two games, and that was really uncharacteristic for us. And
you can't win that way.
No, and I think it just limits us offensively with being able to get good possessions. And so I think to see guys embrace it, and it's everybody with some uncharacteristic turnovers. It's sometimes if you're trying to make a play, and it doesn't go right, there's turnovers we can all live with. Everybody does the same thing, but the uncharacteristic ones, the mental ones, the soft ones, those were the ones that were really catching up with us. And I thought against an aggressive defense, we did a really good job. So only have 11 tonight is really good.
Coach, following up after that, after halftime, you guys follow up with, I believe, a 17-0 run to start off that second half. As a coach, how does it feel for the sidelines to kind of see that response following that kind of conversation in the locker room following that deficit?
I didn't know that. So I mean, that's good. I mean, we're just trying to play every possession. So I don't think sometimes I don't know what the score is because we're just kind of playing. And working. And I think these guys do the same thing. But again, I think, like I said, I thought we got off to a really good start because I knew we were guarding and our offensive possessions were way better than they were during the first half. So I guess that's what we can do when we kind of do things the right way over a stretch of time. So that's obviously good to see and something we need to make sure everybody knows about tomorrow.
I wanted to ask you both about having a young 7-footer who's still trying to learn the game, and it looks to me like it's coming fast. I mean, little things like not biting on multiple head fakes, holding his ground, right? Setting screens, really good screen. In fact, they were so good, I almost thought he was going to get called by being spread too wide a couple times. But Anias having a guy like that around the rim for you, that's got to be great.
Yeah, that's a guy. He just loves to learn and he wants to get better. So playing with him, talking to him it's a great feeling.
Yeah, he's been a sponge from day one. He just he kind of understood where he was at. He didn't play in high school last year. We grabbed him late, and he's, whether he's played or whether he hasn't played, he's practiced hard every day, and he's got an unbelievable energy. So to step in with J-Mac being out and Jordan being out, and going against a really big team, for him to come out with 7 rebounds is a great job. 5 on the offensive end, and then those 7 points. I mean, those are big points, and that's just you just love guys like him, and we got a lot of guys like that. But when you see it from a freshman that can handle, because everybody wants to play. And there's been games he hasn't played at all. There's been games he's played 2 minutes. And everybody wants to play, but it's never stopped his learning. And you just really appreciate it when you see things like that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.